Hey folks, crazy weather. So we had about 8 to 9 inches of really wet, heavy snow, and I could get the monster out yesterday, no problem. But Michelle had an appointment, doctor's appointment in London, and apparently Ken had a heck of a time pushing her chair through the snow from the back door to the road, so she wanted me to clean the walkway before they got back. So I tell you, when the ground is soft like this and the snow is wet and heavy, that blower's worse than pushing the snow shovel. Oh, it was horrible. So I got the walkway done, and I did some amount around Zach's car, what I could. I did along the road, and it's so slushy at the curb from the salt and that. It's just the blower kept plugging up, and it was just driving me insane. So I felt like I was gonna die, but I got done, what I needed to get done anyways. So I gotta finish it today, and Zach's car is still here. But I heard in the new year he's gonna be working different hours. My understanding, same hours he was before. Because now, as long as I'm awake, his car is always here. He's at work when I'm asleep, so I can't clean it out properly with his car there. So that'll be nice, but it'll be a little bit too late because we have another storm coming. This is supposed to be, it's being called the snowstorm of the decade. It's crazy. I'm not looking forward to it, that's for sure. But I have to get this cleaned up before new stuff gets added to it. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot. And it's going to be a crazy Christmas storm. So today's Tuesday. It's supposed to start on Thursday. Friday sounds like it's going to be the worst of it. But I got to get everything cleaned up. I went out today, did a whole bunch of shopping, trying to get stuff done. Because if we're out of power for any length of time, we gotta have supplies, so I guess technically that makes me a prepper, right? Because I'm prepared if the power goes out. So it's the only smart thing to do. There's a stigma around that word prepper, but everybody's a prepper. You got a spare tire in your car? That makes you a prepper. You're prepared for a flat tire. That's all that means. It's not zombie apocalypse or anything like that. That makes me laugh. So I'm pretty much already done. I gotta make sure my batteries are charged up. I got a bunch of emergency lights. I got one stuck to my wall. It's actually got a remote. So if the power goes out, then I just push the button and you get power. I can't remember how many hours it's supposed to last, but it can't be too long. It's only 2 AAA batteries, but it's pretty good. Pretty good brightness. Right, that's the trick. So I got a couple more today. I'm going to put one in each of the washrooms and mount the remote to the wall. And it'll be good that way. I don't know. I don't have the energy to clean the snow up. So I'll let someone else explain, what's happening and why it's happening. And I'll let Ryan say it. He's more entertaining.
Millions of people are about to experience the coldest Christmas of their life, as a historic cold front is about to send a large chunk of the country into a record-breaking deep freeze. On top of that, we have a huge storm forming, and it's going to intercept that cold air just in time for a Christmas-time blizzard. Will you be getting snow? And how cold is it actually going to get? Well, to understand exactly how cold it's going to get here in the US, we have to understand where that cold air is coming from. You see, this Arctic blast that's about to sweep over the country is originating from Siberia, which is one of the coldest places on the entire planet. Just a few days ago, it was 78 degrees below zero in the city of Yakutsk. That same Arctic air is about to force its way through Canada and into the lower 48 over the next week and a half. You see, under normal circumstances, this cold air would stay locked in place around Siberia. But a really interesting weather pattern is setting up that meteorologists like to call the Siberian Express. This train of Arctic air will be forced to leave the station as a blocking high-pressure system from the North Pacific Ocean gets lofted up into Siberia. This high pressure is going to force the cold air out of Siberia, so where's the cold air going to go? The cold air is going to board the Siberian Express and follow the tracks laid down by the high-pressure ridge. It'll follow a clockwise path up through the Arctic Circle, then down through Canada, and finally it'll chug down past the Rocky Mountains and flood into the central and eastern U.S. Right now, we're not exactly certain of how intense this cold air is going to be as it resonates over the U.S., but the GFS model has this big wall of cold air moving into the northwestern U.S. on Tuesday into Wednesday, and then spilling over the Rockies into the plains on Thursday into Friday. Look at all that daggone pink. Entire states in the northern plains, central, and midwest regions of the U.S. could be looking at 30 to 50 degrees below average temperatures during the peak cold time period. Then we see that cold air flow eastward as we head into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And the European model is looking pretty darn similar, but it's much faster in the overall progression of the front. Just look at that literal wall of Arctic air coming in on Thursday. This would be accompanied by strong winds as well, maybe even up to 60 miles per hour at times. This could actually end up being one of this winter's most extreme air masses. The record cold may reach as far south as Texas, with some models showing low temperatures at or below zero across the panhandle on Friday morning. And that's nothing compared to the wind chills. Look at this, 50 below zero in North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, and Nebraska. How about negative 25 degrees in Arkansas? And as the cold air moves east, we could see wind chills in the negative teens as far south as into Tennessee. And with this cold air mass driving south, providing a chilly breeze, on Christmas morning, we could be looking at 10 to 15 degree wind chills in northern Florida. Here's a map showing where I think the coldest air is going to set up from Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. Areas in the cold zone will be noticeably chilly, but the closer you get to the coldest region, we're talking about sub-zero temperatures and a major spike in heating demand that could lead to power outages. So if you're really looking to ditch the coats and get away from that Siberian air, the Southwest looks like the place to be. So we have this huge historically cold wave of air settling in across the U.S. just before Christmas. Could you imagine if this had happened last week when that massive storm came through that caused the tornado outbreak in the South? I mean, that would just be crazy. And the models are showing an even bigger storm coming through just before Christmas. You see, our last system was massive and it produced a blizzard in the north and a full-on tornado outbreak in the south. Another storm is coming just before Christmas, and honestly, it looks very similar to that last one that just went by. The only difference this time is the cold air is much farther south. This means the blizzard will take place farther south and the thunderstorms will likely be displaced all the way out to sea. We aren't really sure exactly how far south the cold air is going to make it though. If it goes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico and interacts with the storm system in a way that keeps it hugging the East Coast, in the days leading up to Christmas, a huge snowstorm will likely impact these areas being highlighted in pink. However, if the cold air and jet stream pattern is a little bit more reserved, everything will be a tad bit farther north, meaning that this pink zone would actually be the hardest hit area in terms of snow. Right now, the European model shows the cold air and snow working over the Rockies on Tuesday into Wednesday, and that leads to a big field of snow that eventually develops on Thursday in the Midwest. And as the storm gets bigger, the cold front progresses the snow into the Ohio Valley. And this huge area of cold air does eventually reach the East Coast and even as far south as Florida, but the energy gets intensely wrapped around the low, favoring the northern side of the storm for the biggest snow totals. This leads to our blizzard and snowstorm being focused on the Great Lakes region, with, according to this one model, some places in Michigan and Wisconsin are going to get over a foot of snow. Now, the GFS is more southern and slower with the energy overall. This shows snow in Oklahoma on Thursday and a big snowstorm for a lot of people east of the Mississippi River through Christmas Eve. And according to this model, heavy snowpack could be on the ground from portions of Arkansas through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and maybe even up into the interior northeast on Christmas morning. Some models are still showing a more eastward progression given snow to the coastal cities, but most favor a more north and west track right now. With all that being said, this pattern overall reminds me a lot of the blizzard of 1978. That storm battered the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes regions with what is now known as one of the most severe blizzards in U.S. history. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a repeat of that, but it does favor the Midwest and Ohio Valley over an East Coast snowstorm. It's very important to remember that we are still several days away from this actually happening, so there's a lot of moving parts and many things can and will change. But I promise you this, someone is going to get a massive Christmas time blizzard, and even more of you are going to see just a brutally cold Christmas overall.
So that's what we're facing. We have a severe weather statement. This is the longest one I've seen ever. It's just like three screen caps long. So I'll explain it, read this to you. Significant winter storm expected late this week into the holiday weekend. Precipitation may begin as rain or snow late Thursday before possibly transitioning to rain in many areas early Friday. Temperatures are expected to plummet on Friday, leading to a potential flash freeze for locations that receive rainfall. Rapidly falling temperatures will be accompanied by strong to potentially damaging winds, along with snow that may be heavy at times. Blizzard conditions are possible late Friday into the weekend for areas downwind of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay. The multi-day lake effect snow event is expected into the weekend in the wake of the system for locations east of the Great Lakes. While there's a high confidence in a high-impact winter storm, the details regarding wind speeds, precipitation types, and amounts remain highly uncertain at this time. Please monitor your local forecast and the latest alerts for your area. Consider altering plans through the holiday weekend as travel conditions may become dangerous. Extensive utility outages are possible. Temperatures Friday night into the weekend will likely be the coldest of the season to date. Public Safety Canada, never heard of that one, encourages everyone to make an emergency plan and get emergency kit with drinking water, food, medicine, first aid kit, and a flashlight. For information on emergency plans and kits, go to Get Prepared. So, that was a mouthful. So we got pretty much everything coming at us. Yeah, I'll show you an image here when it's here. See all those lines all over the map? Those are called isobars, and they're basically pressure gradients. And the closer together they are, the greater the difference in pressure in a shorter distance. So basically it means the winds are faster. So after it hits us, the low pressure system is going to move north, which is going to bring the wind from the north and northwest basically. And that is going to give us, after the storm passes, we're going to have several days of snow squalls. So the last estimate that I saw is, as far as snowfall amounts, it'll be in the 30-inch area. So, that's more than 2 feet. That's about, what, 80 centimeters? I don't know, that's a lot. And I hope we don't get that much. That's just the storm. Okay, that's we're gonna get snow squalls on top of that for several days, so we're talking waist deep snow here. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm gonna need help cleaning that up if we get that. That's insane. But it's that time of year. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So hope for the best and see what comes of it. So I'm going to do my best to get this out on Thursday, which is 2 days from now. And Thursday's the day it's supposed to start. So we'll kind of see what happens. I don't think I had anything else. So I got some warm food with me. I'm going to chow down on that before I start cleaning up what's left of the crap outside here. I didn't get it on video because I was in a hurry to get the walkway cleared for Michelle because I had no idea what time she was coming home. It turned out I had plenty of time, so but I didn't know that, so I just kind of did it really quick. I'll give you a quick look at what I've already shoveled or blown out and what I still need to do. So I did kind of a path just to get the monster out, and I did a little bit here so Michelle could get her chair in. I still got this to go today. That's what I got to do today. And our wonderful neighbor added a little bit to it, which pisses me off, but he always does that. Look what he did to the neighbor's house. They fixed this house up, put this new wall system on. He blew the snow right at the windows, front window, side windows. He's got no respect. for anybody. It pisses me off. So I didn't do this part behind the car here, but I did get along the curb. This was the main part I wanted to get done. I might just use the shovel to get this part that I gotta finish off. So I already brought the monster to here. So everything that's over here, I'm gonna have to try not to blow at Zach's car. I'm gonna have to blow it over to here, and then over to there. Yeah. So I got this part finished anyways. This part had to be done. Got up to the door over here. This was all nice and clear. This pile of snow here got blown over from the neighbor. I feel like shoveling it and just throwing it back in his yard. But, you know, he's what it is. And we'll see what I can get done here anyways. I got most of it done yesterday. This part's going to be a problem because you remember from last year or year before, whatever it was, when I was doing it, I got the snow over to one part, and by the time I got over to that part, it had frozen and turned into concrete. It was really, really difficult. So I might just do a little bit at a time, blow it all the way through, and then come back and do another line. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll figure something out, and I'll just kind of go from there. So I figured I'd give you a quick look at what I've already got done. And it's the same thing today. I don't have the energy. I just want to get it done and get in the house. Because like I said yesterday, by the time I was finished, I felt like I was going to die. I felt like I was going to throw up. It was horrible. And I just unplugged the blower, put the cord in, brought the blower in, and went inside. And you know, by the time I got undressed and ready to get into bed, it was horrible. So I'm not going to have time to do really anything after I'm finished. So I want to get everything done first, and that includes packing up the cameras and that. So I'm just not going to have the chance to do that. So we'll see what happens with this storm. Depending on how the weather is, I might go out Thursday night when it starts. Just, you know, this is to show, you know, what's happening. It depends. If it's raining, I'm not going to go out. But, you know, I guess it could be crazy. If you remember last year when they got the deep freeze down in I was going to say Mexico, in Texas, it caused all that problems. This is kind of what it's looking like again, but it's not going to be freezing rain. It's just going to be like super cold air. And even Florida is going to freeze. So, you know, that says a lot. But, you know, it all depends. There's a lot of variables right now at play, so, you know, can't really make an accurate forecast until things start to come together. You know, we'll see what's going to happen. So hopefully it won't be too bad. But we'll see what happens. It sucks for those who are traveling this Christmas. Like Michelle, her boyfriend's supposed to come up and take her down to his place, which is down by Lake Ontario. No, don't know. I'll have to see. I don't know how comfortable he is driving in winter. We'll find out. But, you know, it's not going to be nice for people traveling for Christmas, that's for sure. So, we'll see what happens. By Christmas morning, everything's pretty much going to be finished for everybody else. Just us here, we'll be getting the snow squalls after that. So, the actual storm will be passed through. For here anyways, it'll still be hitting Quebec and East Coast and that. But I'll see what happens. And then we'll deal with the cold, and the wind, and the snow squalls. I guess that's it. Stay warm, guys.